So, John.
Virginia.
Miguel.
Ramon.
Malika, Latasha, Lane,
Raúl.
Okay, so what we're going to be doing today is planting bare root trees. And these bare root trees have probably been in the ground where they were born. They were grafted for about 2 years, and then they dug them up. And in this case, they dug them up and shook out the soil, became bare roots, protected them with mulch, and shipped them. And so obviously the shipping is a lot lighter. I'm going to start with this and then pass it to Ro. But this is really 2 trees. This they call the rootstock. And it's a stronger tree for growing. And then we'll call this the sweet fruit. So it comes together right here. And then the 2 trees work together to give us something to eat.
All right, so our job today is gonna be start planting. This is gonna be the very first fruit tree for this this new project. So, and it happens to be a ghost apple. So what we're gonna be doing here at this orchard portion of the project is that how many spaces we have right now? 60?
54?
54. Yeah, we're gonna put 54 trees, and 16 different species and varieties of fruit trees. So that's what we're gonna have in here. It's gonna be a mix. So okay, how are we gonna do it? How many of you have planted bare root trees before? Okay.
my past life.
Yeah, so probably. So for fruit trees, you can go buy them at the nursery. There are 2 ways that you can buy them. One is potted, and some bare root. Like John said, the bare root have the advantage that shipping. You can ship 100 bare root trees, all together and packaged in a way that for the weight of maybe 5 or 10 potted trees. So that's the main difference. So shipping cost is very different. It's a lot easier. All right, so how are we gonna do it? So there are 2 things that we have to make sure. We have a hole. We gotta dig a hole that is wider than the roots. So we need to make sure that the roots can spread out, instead of especially if it's hard soil. Right now we have very nice lime soil and a little bit of clay, but it's still pretty good. But if you were to have a place where it's rock, then you have to make sure that we have a soil wide enough, or caliche. If there is caliche, we have to break the caliche, otherwise the roots are not.
What's caliche?
Oh, caliche is this calcium carbonate.
Oh, okay.
When it's soil, when you start digging, and even in this type of soil, probably we dig 4 or 5 feet, we will find it is a layer of hard soil that is all the salts, the salts that are on the water, start leaching down, and then it form a layer at the bottom, and then hardens.
Looks like cement.
It looks like cement,
Okay.
basically, like somebody went and laid cement in layers. So if you have that one, we're gonna have to remove that, break through it, or just dig enough and then backfill it with good soil. So what we're gonna do here is make sure you have the 2 parts. The flare of the tree is the part, where, or some people call it the crown, is the portion between the roots and where the tree trunk starts. We want to make sure that we don't bury that part of the flare, because otherwise, the trees might die due to rot. Make sure that your hole is wide enough, and in this case, it helps to use a stick or a stake just to see where you wanna put it. And you see that this guy is gonna be like floating right now. What we need to do is
Put more dirt.
get some dirt. What is recommended is make a little mound center. Yeah, maybe that. Let's try that and try to compact it a little. Let's try that. it's something that it will support the tree. Like if we do that, there is our tree. And that is just to make sure that it's gonna have the height and it's not gonna sink. And then the remaining thing is start to put soil around. And let's try to get soil, avoid putting those large clods.
And then let's stir in a couple of shovels of the compost.
Let's get some compost. Yeah, we brought some compost in here. And try to make sure that the tree is centered in the hole instead of being to the side or.
Put a scoop of compost up in there?
Yeah.
Yeah, Roman, let's throw a little bit of compost on that one.
Yeah.
Malika
Fill the
got it.
compost in and
that?
fill the compost
It
with.
has to be mixed. Mix
over
the
here.
soil.
Okay.
Okay, here's another thing. When we use compost, always make sure that it's mixed.
And why is that?
Because if what you end up doing is having these layers, you will have a layer of compost, a layer of soil, and the water is gonna try to sit on the compost, and it's not gonna go in there.
Mixed in.
And that can, that might cause, water logging on your hole, and the trees might die.
Is there any more? Is that good? Is that
Yeah,
good or one
maybe a
more?
little bit more.
Wait, bring the wheelbarrow here closer. Okay, Roman, start throwing some of that in here. You like that depth, John?
I'm gonna put the union a little more north, or does that matter?
Oh, yeah, that was your thing. Yeah, you want to explain that?
Where the tree was grafted, and I don't. I'm not.
It's okay.
Where the tree came together, this is the wound that basically grafted where the two trees grew together. So what I remember being taught was to put this to the north because trees will get sunburned, and this is more fragile on the trunk than the rest of the trunk. So if we can, to turn that sort of north, a little bit northeast, so that it gets the least amount of sun in a summer day.
So you need to move that one right now?
It would
'Cause
turn,
it's facing
it would
south
turn
right now?
exactly the opposite direction, yeah. So like
Okay.
about like that. And we're also going to get some. There we go.
Yeah, another thing that we're gonna need to do with it that is recommended is wrap the tree, protect the trunk. So
There's some tree guys in the mail.
okay.
They're coming. That's a really common mistake to plant trees too deep.
Yes.
So-
and that is one of the worst mistakes. Yeah.
We want to get ultimately the soil level up to about 3 or 4 inches below that graft.
Let me pick these up so they can get grown.
Thank you.
And then when you're doing it, you can sort of tickle the roots, let them fall out. And since these are bare roots, pack it in a little bit. Am I talking right?
Yeah.
Oh no, he needs some. Oh, let me put some of that little bit over there with you. Ooh, my bad. Your eyeball. I didn't feel you. Okay, good energy over here.
The root flare is
Be
this?
like, plant some.
Yeah, it's part of,
This
above
whole
the
thing
roots.
right here?
Yeah, above the
So we
the
only
roots.
cover to like right there?
Yes, to right there.
Okay.
Yeah, sometimes people end up covering, 2 or 3 inches, and that's
I was.
I think, or is there a, can you apply too much mulch whenever you're doing this, or is there no such thing as too much compost? Or
yeah, as long as you don't do more than a third.